journal caps off so I can get to the underside of this cam. We do have a little tiny bit of scoring. It's not even, you can't even feel it, but you can see it. All these lifters are good so far. So we're going to go ahead and replace them anyway. All right, let's try to get a couple of these lifters out of here. Close, very close. Yep. That's all right. Just do the rockers and be happy. So, I do not want to take the cam chain loose and the timing chain loose and all that shit, so I really only needed to take one of these rockers out, but I was able to get 4 out. The rest of them are good. Just this one in the back was bad. But since I can access 4, I'll replace 4. Can't access any of the lifters, but that's okay because there's nothing wrong with the lifters. I'm just replacing the rockers. Replacing 4. Only need to replace 1, but while I'm in there, I might as well do what I can, right? And that will take care of the noise in this drivetrain. And pretty much at that point, we just have to worry about an oil pressure code I'm getting. Whether that's the oil pump or the solenoid on the pump or sensor, I don't know yet, but once I get that fixed, all I'll have left is a bunch of silly shit like clock spring, fix the radio, there's something going on with the 4x4 that needs to be looked at. I think it's nothing too major, but really, is anything really major? If you can fix it, it's not major. That's what I say. So those rockers are in. We get to putting this back together. Rotate the engine a smidge. Let's see where this cam is going to sit for me. Make sure it's seated well before I go torquing it down and shit. Good. Get rid of these seals. Actually, those are the new ones already. Leave those on there. Obviously didn't get married to the valve cover gaskets, not to do that. I'll just pull them off and do that, I guess. So that's pretty much it for the rocker replacement. Most of it's just taking all the crap off the engine to get to this, and then you can pop the cam up enough to get a few of the back rockers out, which is usually the ones that go bad, and at least get the job done. I mean, they say you should do all the rockers and all the lifters at once and pull the cams off and shit, but you really don't have to do all that unless you got other issues. But also these bolts down in here, underneath here, I need to check those and make sure those are tight. That can cause an issue. These don't look bad, but this side didn't either, but they were actually a little bit loose as well. So I'll check those, get it back together, and that'll be that. I just pulled the lower intake off to check the wiring and stuff on the oil pressure sensor right there. It seems to be fine. It's original wiring, original plug. Everything looks good here, but could well be leading to oil pump and or solenoid replacement here soon. See what happens. Injectors plugged back in. Somewhere. Here. Injector. 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 Got some coils while we're at it. Slap them babies in. Coil. 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 Oh yeah, I still need to do the damn EGR valve in the back of the passenger side valve cover that you can barely touch, let alone see. It's a fun one. Great placement on that, let me tell you. It's about the biggest pain in the ass of this job. The stupid EGR valve. It's about 98,000 degrees out here. Sweating balls. I have to up my electrolyte intake so I don't keel over here. I'm sweating all over this engine. This engine's gonna know me by heart, that's for sure. This little guy in here. Get him going. If only they were all so easy. The EGR valve is an absolute pain in the ass. I'm just kind of avoiding it at the moment because I don't want to do it. But I know it's inevitable. It's got to be done. So I'm just hoping maybe a little small-handed elf will come along and just say, hey, let me help you out there, pal. And I'd be like, sure. Why, thank you, Mr. Elf. How timely it is for you to come by. Because I just happen to need a small-handed elf to help me finish this job. But I don't suppose that's going to happen, so I'm going to turn off the camera and save you a few cuss words while I finish the rest of this. Yeah, so now we have the upper intake to go back on. Just got the EGR valve back in. Pop our hose back on that guy. Get him ready to go. We got some water lines to get reconnected. We need to get a bracket back on over there. Upper intake. There's a lot of little shit that has to be done on this. Putting shit back together and taking it apart. There's just a lot of little stuff that has to get done sort of in a certain sequence. Otherwise, you're taking shit apart again. So you can do it the way you should have done it the first time. So that's fun. Let's see. I know we got one that fits over here for this guy right here. Got a ground wire. Go on the firewall with that. We'll drop him down here into the side of the head. Right about there. Get him in there. And where's my socket for that? There it is. Yeah, that's all right. Fine. Another bolt to go here for the dipstick. Oil dipstick bolt here. Also goes in the side of the head. So much shit to work around on this thing. It's unreal. Honestly, I don't know how I did it. I must be more patient than I used to be, because it is definitely a requirement for this old job. Working on just about anything with this engine requires a shitload of patience. That's pretty much everything. I think on this side of the engine, we're pretty much ready to go back with. Oh, let's get this back on actually first. That's right. Oops. Wrong one. There. And then the bottom side attach to the intake. Or the top side, I mean. Transmission dipstick. Wiring harness, all that other shit's gonna get connected when we put the battery tray back in, which is gonna be right now actually. is a little bit of a mess, but we'll figure it out here. Kind of a large tray that fits up in here. Not a hell of a lot of fun to take in and out, but necessary for shit like this, so. In here. Maybe nothing. I guess we're all right. Really thought about cutting this tray down to make it easier to fit in and out. Because it does not fit well until you get it past a certain point. Then it kind of fits, but Jesus, man. Oh, jeez. They make it a real fucking bitch to get in there. Just feel like I'm gonna fucking break something taking it in and out. Did. Looks like. That's what I was missing. I knew I was missing something. Where'd you go? Get out of there, damn it. There you go. Almost. Oops. Fell down. There. Looking good there. We got a connector or two stuffed in here. If you ever decide to work on a JK 3.6 liter, just prepare to go through some dumb shit like this. And some of this stuff makes sense to work on, but some of it really doesn't. Clicks in like that. Vacuum solenoid pops in over here. Do something like that with him. Can you see what the hell I'm doing here? Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Make sure I'm not videotaping this for nothing. This is important shit. I make sure people see what kind of chaos I'm creating here. Got a wire harness here. Just like so. Clips into the side of that. Gnats are coming out. That's awesome. Clip some of this shit back together. Got our little harness for this vacuum sensor. Looking good there. And a couple hoses that need to get routed. Over there, okay, good there. Get some of these screws back in if I can find them. Damn it, I think I lost a few. Definitely got a screw loose now. Hate when that happens. Alright, that doesn't go there. Oh, that's right, I put them over here. See what I mean? Definitely have a screw loose. There we go. But you know what? If I didn't have a screw loose, I would never be able to get through half of this shit. So it's kind of a requirement, really. We're doing half of this shit, otherwise I wouldn't have the tolerance. Yeah, that thing is right in the way. It's a little bit of a, it's almost like therapy, you know? Like I can have a little conversation with it, talk nice, see if it talks back nice. If it doesn't, then I can change my strategy. You know, maybe not quite so nice, and go from there. But in the meantime, got it all planned out. Come on, baby. Get in there. There we go. Yeah, that was a good one. Cross-threaded it and then re-threaded it the correct way. This is a lot of simple shit that is thrown together to make some complicated shit. Maybe not thrown together. Suppose I do have some respect for these engineers. I mean, a lot of this stuff is pretty awesome, but I mean, we're looking at an engine with 4 cams, 24 valves. Yeah, it's quite the engineering marvel, but when it comes to getting it running right and keeping it running right, there's a learning curve to it. And I think once a guy gets a hold of it, figures it out, it's a hell of a deal. So see what happens here. What else we got? Battery. Hey, up we go. Just wait a little while to connect him up while I tinker with some other stuff over here on top of the engine. Yeah, that'll be fine. So over here we've got a couple of hoses. This one I'm not too sure about. These fucking engineers decided to run heater hoses across the top of the valve cover in such a manner that makes things rather difficult to deal with without taking this shit all apart. And once you do take it apart, it leaks all over the place. Just kind of fucking weird, but anyway, I digress. Get him under there. usually make full-length videos like this, but I just kind of figured, what the hell. I've had this engine open a couple times. I'll just let it play. There's that. Yeah, they just put fucking water lines right above coil packs, a wiring harness, the fuel injectors, a whole bunch of electronic shit. They just got water lines running across the top of it. So if it does spring a leak, it just leaks water all over the place. So that's interesting, but whatever. Okay, now, stupid hose clamp is just being a pain today, so flat screwdriver that. There it is. Yeah, definitely need to replace that. I should probably look and see if I have one right now, but I'm not going to. Okay, done fucking with the hose clamps. Now I'm gonna put these upper intake back in. I'm gonna get those tiles out of there first. That would probably help it get air. Actually, kind of like this intake system. It's upper lower design. It's really not bad if you're gentle with it. You don't over torque shit. I think that's the main thing that people end up doing is just torquing shit down and tearing stuff up, overdoing it. As long as you don't do that, these things seem pretty damn decent to work on. Aside from all the tubing and shit around it, I'm not a big fan of that, but what are you gonna do? You can't have everything, right? Oh yeah, get this guy back in there. Okay. Drop him in, just like that. I think we're crooked. There we go. Doesn't feel like it's sitting flush, but I think it is. It's just the nature of the beast, I guess. Need a little swivel action on this one. Don't over torque it. You'll regret it. Seems to be a worn out Milwaukee power ratchet. Has just about the right amount of torque for half this shit. So I'm a lucky guy. If this was new, I'd probably be over torquing stuff. The John Deere t-shirt to dab the sweat and wipe the grease down. It's a perfect tool. All right, where are we at here? So that's going back together nicely. Pretty much ready for our intake. Bolt on the rest of the brackets. Make sure all our electronics are plugged in properly, and we should be able to test fire. Yeah. Yep. So just going back in. Intake. Getting the rest of all these hoses connected where they go. Just kind of double checking everything. Make sure all the connectors are together. Everything's where it wants to be. It's happy. Plug in Mr. Throttle body connector there, so the throttle body has something to talk to. Connect our mass air sensor so we can get a good check engine light from that. And we'll squeeze him down a little. Maybe that's air temperature sensor actually. Either way, it's throwing a code. It's one of the 2 codes I have on this Jeep is P06DD for solenoid stuck low, and the other one is air temperature sensor. So other than that, this Jeep runs great. And now it should sound good too, because there should not be any rattle from the engine. Might hear some rattle initially from the valve train, just like the timing chain just taking up slack as it fills with oil pressure, but after a few seconds it should quiet right up. Let's see what happens. Not bad, not bad. Sounds a lot better. Missing 2 bolts there for a little bracket or for our water hoses, but that's a few rockers replaced in the back of that valve cover, a few rockers replaced back there. That's really all I've done. Oh, and I replaced one of the idler pulleys down here that was making a bunch of noise, and that's it. Now this engine's real nice and quiet. I have to focus on some other stuff. Sweet.